So fall is here and it's time for me to repair some of the bare spots I have in the lawn. But it's 10th of September now, it's almost mid-September, it's getting really late. But I'm not that worried since I have ryegrass and it establishes and germinates pretty quickly. So I think I'll be fine with my ryegrass. However, if you have Kentucky bluegrass and you have any type of fescue, your germination time will be a lot longer. So it's getting very late for you guys to actually get anything done. But there are some things you can do to even speed up that process. But I'll get into what I mean later on in the video. First, let me just show you the bare spots I'm going to repair. So this is one of the spots. It just didn't grow in as I wanted it to, and during the summer it probably died out, so I need to repair this. And I don't think it's grubs or anything, it just died off during the summer and I didn't want to repair it until the weather cooled off a bit. And here, as you can see, I have a spot where it just didn't grow in as well as I hoped it would. So I need to fill this up, and this is the biggest problem area I have in the front. It never grows well here. I'm not really sure why, but I'll try to overseed and see if I can make it look better. As I said, I've also checked here for grubs and everything. I don't think it's grubs, but as you can see, I have some spots here. I'm not sure if it's disease or something. I'm not sure, but I'm overseeding it and see what happens. By the way, isn't the lawn looking great? I love fall. The lawn is usually so great during the fall. Let me just show you guys. I mean, it's looking awesome at the moment. I mean, look at this. It's looking awesome. I love it. And if you're wondering why it's yellow over there, it's because I accidentally scalped it. I wanted to try a lower cut, but just by the patio over there, it goes up a bit. So I accidentally scalped the entire thing. And it happens. It'll grow back. It's not a big deal, but it just doesn't look that pretty. But the rest of the lawn though, it's looking pretty awesome. And this is one of the reasons why I love fall. Your lawns usually look the best now. All right, on with the overseeding. So as I said, if you have Kentucky bluegrass or if you have creeping red fescue or any other type of fescue, the germination period is just gonna be too long. And we're in mid-September, so if you're thinking about overseeding the entire lawn, I would never do that with Kentucky bluegrass and creeping red fescue or any other kind of fescue mid-September. At least not if you're as far up north like I am in Stockholm in Sweden, because during nights we're getting temperatures down to 5 degrees Celsius, 4 degrees Celsius, and soon enough we will have frost. So all that seed you put out will just end up dying. But the one thing you can do is if you have bare spot like I have, then I would pre-germinate Kentucky bluegrass or fescue. I would use the barrel trick. I've showed that a couple of times. You put soil in a barrel, you put the seeds, then you put it in the garage or somewhere warmer. I put my bucket usually in the house. Then you keep that moist for a couple of days and it starts germinating really fast. It's a lot faster than doing it outside, trust me. If you do it that way, then you could still overseed with Kentucky bluegrass or creeping red fescue and other type of fescues. For smaller areas, I mean, you can't fill up that many barrels to overseed the entire lawn. Now for the ryegrass I have, it won't be necessary, it just grows so fast. So I'm just gonna repair these spots and we'll see how they turn out. So first I need to cultivate the soil a bit, just take away any junk or anything in the way and make it a bit softer. And you don't need to go overboard with this, it's just to do some grooves in the soil and take away any dead grass. Now I checked this area before for grubs and I didn't find any, but this time I found several grubs, so apparently it was a grub problem. Oh well, that happens. But for now I'm just gonna put in new soil and new seed over this area, and then we'll figure out what we're gonna do about the grubs later. But there you go. I mean, previously I just dug up a couple of pieces here and there and just checked and I didn't find any grubs. But this time when I dug up this entire area, I saw several grubs, and I mean, it is what it is. So now I'm thinking maybe I missed, maybe there were grubs in the front as well, but I've checked several times, I never found any. I've only found grubs once in my lawn, that was like 2 years ago, and since then I haven't found any. But let's dig up the spot in the front as well and just make sure it isn't grubs, because if it is grubs then you need to take care of it. I mean, overseeding will solve the immediate issue by it looking better, but if you have grubs they'll just keep coming back, so you'll need to do something about it. So about 2 years ago I found a lot of grubs along this edge, and I used this product called Myr for ants, and it just took them away within a week or two. So that's what I'll use again. I mean, it's for ants, but if it works, it works. I don't care. Well, I dug this out again and I can't find any grubs anywhere, and it's just this spot. I mean, the rest seems pretty attached. Oh, here it's a bit loose. Let me just check. No grubs. But still, I mean, look at this. You can easily just pull this out. I'm not really sure what's going on. I see a lot of ants here, so it might be just the ants, not the grubs. Good thing I'm using a pesticide against ants for both of them, so I guess it'll take care of the ants and the grubs at the same time. But yeah, I can't find any grubs here. So I'm just gonna use the cage rest I used for the Entylon. I had some left, so why not use it? Just fill up so it's even. And I'll put on some seed. And it's the same Barenbrug RPR that I used for the Entylon. I'm just doing it by hand. No need to bring out any fancy stuff for this. And as always, I used pretty much more seed than you need. Some of it won't germinate, some of it will go to the animals, birds and stuff. So why not? Rather than having to overseed again, I'd rather just use too much seed and then cover it up. I'm gonna step on it again. Have one spot ready. Now I have like 5-6 to go, but I'll get there. This is so much easier than overseeding the Entylon. These bigger spots, I mean, you can try to smooth them out with the backside of the rake just to try to get it as level as possible. It's gonna shift anyways, but you can at least try to get it as level as possible from the get-go. Now time for some more seed. I mean, these buckets there, they're not only good for building sandcastles by the beach. You can take them for seeds and do other lawn stuff with them. I'll just cover that up. Alright, so those were the spots I renovated. They're looking pretty good. It wasn't that bad. Usually I would have more spots to repair. But again, this is a new lawn, so I just repaired the entire thing. One thing to mention though, when repairing this late in the season, as I said, it's mid-September, so it's not gonna grow in as quickly as if it was warmer out. I mean, during the night we're getting 5, 6, 7 degrees Celsius. That's pretty cold. So it's not gonna grow as quickly, but it's not impossible. I would still do it. I think the latest seeding I've ever done with the pre-germination is in October or early November or something like that, and it actually works. I mean, it's not all or nothing, as I keep saying. Some of it will die, sure enough, but not all of it. So if you want to go for it, go for it. It's not too late. Now I just need to keep this moist for a couple of days, and it won't be as tedious as before summer, since it's colder out, it's more humid, and when I get up early mornings, the entire lawn is pretty wet from the morning dew. So you don't have to water it as often, which is also one of the advantages of doing this in fall time. So we'll see how it turns out. All right, so it's been about 14 days since I reseeded my patches, and I just want to show you the difference between seeding now or doing it when it's warmer out. So let's have a look at the patches. All right, so this is how the patches are looking. Not everything has grown in, and it's growing pretty slowly. And this is the big patch, and it's growing, it's getting there. But my point is, it's been 14 days to get to this stage with ryegrass. The last time I actually seeded the entire lawn with ryegrass, I got to this stage in about 10 days or something like that, even less, 6, 7, 8 days. And I mean, this is the difference if you're starting to seed now in September when it's cooler out. So just before summer when I seeded, it was 20, 25 degrees Celsius. It grew really fast. But this time when I seeded, I would say it took twice as long at least to get to the same stage. So instead of 5 days, it took 10 days. So imagine if this was Kentucky bluegrass or fescue, which normally takes about 20 days plus to actually germinate. That would mean that it would take somewhere around 40 days for it to germinate, which is a long time. And remember, it not only has to germinate, it has to have time to actually establish before winter comes. That's why I'm saying just think twice before you start doing any bigger reseeding around September. Now, will everything die during winter? No, of course not. It's not all or nothing. Some of it will survive. It's just that if you're doing the entire lawn, it might be a lot of wasted seeds. So just be careful. And if you're doing any patches, you might want to consider pre-germinating the seeds. That will save you a lot of time. Just do it in a bucket like I do if it's small patches, or you can do it in a wheelbarrow if you have a lot more patches to take care of or bigger areas. Just keep it warm until you see some germination and then put it out. That will give you a head start. So that would be the way I would do it if I'm starting to seed now in September. So it's up to you. It's really weather dependent. In Stockholm right now, today it's warm, it's 15 degrees. The other night it was 6 degrees. So it's up and down, but still I would be careful seeding anything else than ryegrass. And if I had Kentucky bluegrass to seed some patches, I would definitely pre-germinate it. And if you want to know more about how you can pre-germinate seed, I'll link a video where I show you exactly how I pre-germinate seed. Now, I didn't manage that very well in the video. I screwed up because I waited too long. Other stuff came up, but at least you can see the process here. So just go watch that video and I'll see you over there.